Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 19th entry into our series on Kaspersky Unified Monitoring and Analysis Platform, or Kaspersky SIEM. In this particular session, we are going to talk about event normalization, and we're also going to look at normalizers in general. Now, in our very first scenario, as you can see, we've got the event details up and running, and what we want is we want to go and collect the data on the raw event. So at the bottom right, well, not complete bottom of course, but you're going to see there's a copy button that allows us to copy the selected event details, the raw information. Now, what we want to do is for this first scenario, we have already pre-configured a collector with a custom normalizer, which has then been configured to always keep the raw event. But unfortunately, as you can see, the event is not normalized. It contains only the fields populated by the collector upon receipt of the raw event text. So let's copy the raw event text as we already did, and we create a new normalizer, as you can see on the screen. We are then going to select the regular expression as the parsing method. Specify also that the raw event must always be kept. Here, this is mainly for clarity while debugging the normalizer itself. Once normalization is working, keeping raw events should be disabled to save storage space. We can paste that raw event from the clipboard into the relevant field. This also helps make the configuration process a lot clearer. Next, we need to create or write a regular expression that will extract useful information from the raw event. The expression can be written directly in the Kuma interface, but we'll use a convenient online resource. Let's also paste the raw event data here, and if you use a third-party resource to debug regular expression, check that the events you copy do not contain sensitive data. A regular expression for normalizer must use named capturing groups. Names of these groups are needed for field mapping. In this example, we're only interested in the text after the third space. We remove the beginning of the message using a regular expression without a capturing group, since that part doesn't need to be passed to Kuma. Then we use capturing groups to extract the desired text fragments. You can come up with your own names for the groups, but it's easier if they match the field names from the Kuma data model. If they match, you won't need to perform field mapping manually. On the right-hand side of the interface, you can see which data is captured by each group. Let's copy the resulting regular expression and paste it into the normalizer itself. We remove any characters that's added in the process of copying the text from the website. You can use a special button to automatically transfer the group names to the field mapping table. For some fields, mapping was configured automatically because, once again, the group names in the regular expression matched those of the Kuma field names. And this automatically configured mappings can be redefined as needed. Let's configure the mapping for fields with non-matching names. For Kuma fields whose names contain the word custom, you can assign human readable labels. These will appear in the corresponding label fields. Once we have defined our names, we can save the normalizer and we can add it to the overall collector. Once we have that done, we will update the collector configuration, and now the event should be normalized. So let's update that configuration, and then we can confirm if our event has been normalized correctly. Alright, so our event has been normalized. Now, let's look at an example where an extra normalizer is used. This event partly consists of key value pairs. There's already a ready-made key value parser for such pairs, but alone it can't process this event correctly. One part of the event needs to be normalized using a regular expression, and the other using the key value parser. We copy the event source and write a regular expression for the first part of the event. In the regular expression, we use named groups to extract the date, vendor name, product name, and we use the last named group to extract the rest of the event. Let's create a new normalizer and paste the resulting regular expression there. We paste a sample raw event into the normalizer. As you can see, the interface has highlighted 4 named groups. Let's configure field mapping for them. For the last group, mapping is optional. We're doing it here for clarity. In practice, it would be better to delete the last row in this table. Otherwise, one of the normalized message fields will contain raw data. This will be shown at the end of this video. Now, let's add an extra normalizer to which we will pass the data in key value format. We specify from which capturing group the data will be taken. We select the parsing method, and we set space as the pair separator and the equal sign as the key value separator. The sample event field in the extra normalizer is still empty. We click OK and we reopen that extra normalizer. Now the event sample field contains the part of the data that we passed to the extra normalizer. Next, based on the data in the example, we manually configure field mapping. So once the field mapping is configured, we can save that normalizer and we can add it to the collector. Once you are done, you can click on OK, and we create that, and then now our event should be normalized. And there we go. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the information is present on the screen, and all of this is normalized information. Once again, thank you so very much for joining us. This is the 19th entry in our series on Kaspersky Unified Monitoring and Analysis. As usual, thank you so much for viewing, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.